All right, let's go, Harvey.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I was listening to the vice president's speech yesterday. I didn't listen to all of it, but most of it was about business, small loans, $50,000 for startups.
Mm,
And, this gets back to that black coming up. And the one thing that came to mind is that when people say they're going to do something, now in Trump's case is a different story because he really does penetrate certain people. But when the Democrats say they're going to do something, that means you have to get on that person and keep them to their word.
man.
Now, the
I'm
reason why I
laughing.
say
I'm
that,
laughing and stuff, Ted, because someone else said the same thing when I was looking at a YouTube video and stuff this morning. They said the
okay,
exact same thing you just said. But go ahead. I'll tell you who
no,
it
you
was.
got you
I'll
got to
tell you who
keep
it
her
was.
to her word that she's going to be having those funds. She said that she's going to make funds available for people who wants to for startups. Now, here's the thing, and I can only tell you from my experience, we have a whole lot of duplications in business,
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of duplications, and I think we did a show on that one time. You know, restaurants, hamburger joints.
Right. We did do that. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. What kind of business can the black community or black business people get into? Now, everything, there's nothing new under the sun, I mean, pair of pants, jacket, sweater, shoes, you know, products, that type of thing. But the one thing that in my mind, if you get a group of people together to start a business and a corporation and you're producing a product, something to sell to people to buy, and then you start hiring people to manufacture that, that's what business is. You have to have a product. Right now, we are consumers. $15 trillion of our GDP is based on consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was just looking at the GDP, and 2020 it was 21 trillion, 2021 23 trillion, 2022 25 trillion, 2023 27 trillion. Now think about that. Every year is 2 trillion more. $2 trillion is a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
because, and I don't want to change subjects here, but I'm gonna come back to this. But I was looking at the China situation with this U.S. Steel.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken over the steel industry.
Right. DuPont Steel. Well, that's probably one of the second largest steel companies in the world, probably, isn't it? Or the number one largest steel company in the world, right?
China is the leading uh, companies. They have the leading companies and Japan and India. They all beat America's as far as producing tons of steel.
Right. And
However,
Nippon wants to buy U.S. Steel, correct?
right, and
Okay.
U.S. Steel was started with Andrew Carnegie and J.P. Morgan in 1901,
Mm-hmm.
and big time. He made millions of dollars of money off of that. He was one of the richest people at that time in the world. However, right now, you know how much business they do, revenue? They only had less than $15 billion in revenue in steel. That's it. 15. And we talking, I'm looking here, the China, um, they call it the China Red, is their revenue was 358 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They produced over 1 billion tons. So the point is that this industry is gone. You know, I heard Vice President Kamala Harris say that we're going to save the U.S. Steel
Mm-hmm.
company. Joe Biden says that we're not going to let them buy it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not producing, man, and don't know. Not a whole lot of people want to work in the steel industry in America. So that industry is, you know, we got a few other companies that are doing some things too as far as making steel, but it's not that heavy steel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
However, the point is that I'm making is that what industry can new startups start that can be profitable, that can be successful, that can generate hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs? Because this right here is a new thing. If she wins and she provides these types of opportunities for people, and there are a lot of very smart black people period out there that's looking for that capital to start these types of businesses. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we got thousands of insurance companies, thousands of financial companies. We got thousands of this and thousands, hundreds of thousands of that, and franchises and all that. But what about starting something that you can create and make where people can purchase? This is the thing. Now you can duplicate and then make your own clothing line or what have you, and manufacture clothes and sell them all over the world, all over the country. You
Mm-hmm.
know that right there is a big sale because you gotta brand it and all that. But this is a great opportunity to build wealth for these young people who got all this education and want to start a business or have their own business and that type of thing. And people can, you know, the thing is, there's going to be billions of dollars available for these people to start businesses. And this is the thing. So, when you look at these different secular, or I should say, uh, different types of businesses that are successful and where we make our money and where America make their money right now is mostly in service businesses. We're not producing a lot, and we need to start up manufacturing companies. I mean, right now, China. You know, I just did a search on China. China got over 50,000 American jobs over there. 50,000 companies that are owned by American. They partner with China over there. We have invested in the last 40 years over $2 trillion over there in China.
Mm-hmm.
And they're manufacturing everything.
They
They're
have the
manufacturing everything.
they have the workforce.
Correct.
They have the workforce.
But see, there's certain things that we should have essentials of that should be had here, but they have the workforce, but at the same time, you know, we have to be self-sustaining because what happened when we had that supply chain mix up? We had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And so now, and I think in my mind, I'm thinking in her mind that we cannot have that again. We have to have these companies, they're probably going to gear some of these people into some of these essential things. You know, there are people that's made $1 billion just making screwdrivers, making clip pins, the clip to your papers and stuff, staplers. So it might be a mundane kind of corporation or business or manufacturing business, but you can make millions of dollars. There are people who make coat hangers and making millions of dollars off of coat hangers.
Mm-hmm.
So what is really needed, and I think that people need to start just like a home ownership. She's talking about 3 million homes. That means you need constructions. You need people that know how to build roofs. People know how to lay out homes, that kind of thing. Blueprints. 3 million homes is a lot of homes, bro. That's a lot of homes. That means you need a lot of construction workers that know how to do plumbing, electrician.
Now, let's get back to what you just talked about, that we don't have the manufacturing is gone someplace else because they have the manpower. Our unemployment rate is what, 3%, 4% now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you down to 3%, you almost at 0% unemployment. So where are you going to get the workers to do this manufacturing here in this country? Where are we going
Well,
to get the workers to do that manufacturing here in this company if you're sitting at 3% unemployment?
this
That's a
this is
question. I'm just asking a question.
what this is what I was saying. What I'm saying is that I've always said this, and I might not agree with what I'm getting ready to say, but we don't have enough people.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
We don't have enough people.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
That's the point
it's
I'm trying to get at. And that brings us back to what?
immigration.
Immigration.
We don't have enough people, and the people
That
don't
brings
realize
us
that.
back to immigration. The one thing that Donald Trump and the Republicans are trying to beat us up over immigration, letting people come into this country. These people that are coming across them borders are needed here. They are needed to do some of the work, some of this mundane work that we're talking about. They need to come here. And we need to figure out a way when they do get here and stuff, how to monopolize upon them coming here.
Well, I think she already laid the plan out, bro. This right here is about
I'm, I,
competition now.
no, no, what I mean by monopolizing on them coming here, that means that if we have turned our country into a service industry, and some of that service means you're into financial, you're into providing other services and stuff to people, whether it's oh man, you running a company or you got uh oh you can it's all kind of stuff that we're doing and stuff here. I'm kind of at a loss and stuff now because my mind is on immigration. Why are we fighting these people coming across the border? And the fact that, getting back to what I want to say, is how we're going to monopolize on them coming into our country. As they come into United States, they are bringing in that manpower that we're going to need. But we have to also realize that if they're coming in here, we can't let them go into that underground economy because you lose what?
Tax money.
You lose tax money that goes into our coffer and out to our treasurer. We lose that. We get the sales tax because they are sneaking into these stores buying products, but we lose the tax money and stuff on their wages because they went into an underground economy and they're hiding that money. And we lose that money that's coming into our coffers, the FICA, all that stuff and everything that we use to fund what we have going on in this country. And that's a lot of money, Ted, that the Internal Revenue Service is losing because of that. A lot of
Absolutely.
money.
I totally agree. And the thing is, here's the thing though. When you're talking about bringing in uh, different kinds of culture that comes in, it causes a rift
It does.
because because the
It does.
fact is that some of us, believe in the American way,
Mm-hmm.
and we are diehard Americans because that's
Mm-hmm.
all we know.
And that's just like the MAGA folks. They think that they are the diehard Americans and stuff who own this country, and nobody else can come in there and do it. They got that same mentality and stuff as to how they want to try to keep voter suppression going on, all the other stuff, because they don't want people of color and stuff to attain to become middle class or upper middle class, and they don't want them to have that money that they're getting. So when they're coming in and we have that same mentality, what are we going to do?
Well, that's the question. See, the thing is that the school system or some type of training has to be done to explain to these people once they become Americans, they have to abide by the Constitution. They have to abide by the rules and regulations. They have to learn, but they still have their own culture
Whether they
and their own
don't,
language.
whether they don't go to school or they don't, if they crossing these borders, they automatically have to abide by the Constitution and by our laws and stuff that we have in this country, no matter what. Oh man, we're getting into a
Well,
one. We get
here's
into
the
one
thing.
hell of a discussion here.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There are almost 200 million people that are right now in the world displaced. So people are leaving their place of where they were born and going to other countries that are better than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting we have gotten in the last 30 years 100 million people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of people have assimilated pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them has assimilated pretty well, and some of them are doing better than even the Americans are doing
Mm-hmm.
because they've started their own businesses. They've bought their homes. They working 2 jobs, 3 jobs maybe. They're doing all the things that what you're supposed to do to succeed. Because the American dream, I guess, is what everybody say is a car. Having a car and a home. That's the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
So what you just said about the MAGA people, they're trying to stop the influx of
Mm-hmm.
people of growth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think about, hey, you only been here yourself. Most of them only been here themselves
Mm-hmm.
100 years. You
But
know,
they have been taught and they have been raised up in the school system or in the homes that they are superior to those people who are crossing to those borders. They are superior to people of color. And when you teach children and stuff this and it goes through their whole life doing that, then they think that they're superior. And when that happens, they want to fight to hold on to what they got. So they use any means, by any means necessary, to hold these folks back.
did
Now,
you did you remember when I just made the statement that every year for the last 5 years, and it's even more step because when Obama left office, his was only when he first came in office, it was only the GDP was only 14 trillion.
hmm
So now think about that. Now here we are at $27 trillion. What does that mean? That means that capitalism is working, but you got to keep up. And a lot of these people, they talk about their fathers and their grandfathers. Oh, I worked at the such and such for 30 years, and I got my retirement, and I live in my house for 30 years or 40 years, and so they think they're gonna live that kind of life. That's over with. That's over with. You have to always be growing. You got to always be making money all the time to keep up because inflation is always going to be 2 to 4%. It's always going to be that.
Now, let's think a little bit outside the box. Even though we have 3% unemployment in this country, we got a whole lot of people who are homeless.
Yeah,
We got a
over 500,000 people.
whole lot of people who are homeless. So if our next president, is gung ho on putting money into folks' hands and creating these 3 million homes and stuff that they're going to have out there, uh, why can't she figure out some kind of way to eliminate this homeless problem at the same time? And the fact and everything that we need some of these people out there working. They're sitting in their cars, they're sitting on our streets, they're sitting in tents and everything. Some of them would like to have a job. So, thinking outside that box, there might be a way to use this initiative and everything to say that if you got uh, so many government contracts or you getting so much money to do what you're doing, then why can't we create a little bit of affirmative action and stuff with homeless people?
Well, here's the thing, Ed. You have so many NGOs. Like I said, we got over 1 million nonprofit organizations in this country. Over 10 million are employed for nonprofit organizations. And a lot of those are helping people. A small portion, but this is another thing that where these fundings, these people are going to have results. That means if you got a nonprofit organization that help people with mental health, and that's mostly helping these homeless people and getting people places like, and then these people that come up with different contracts where they can build where people can have a place to stay.
Thinking
So
outside that box. Go ahead.
right, so this is the thing. So, but you're talking 500,000 people, and a lot of
I ain't,
those people are drug addicts. They're mental alcoholics, or they just plain bums. So
but
what do
you
you do?
but you but you got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
Ted.
I
You
agree.
can't
I
you
agree.
can't you, you can't denigrate 30% of the folks and stuff who do, or 50% of the folks who do want to work, and lock them in with the folks and stuff and everything who are drug
Yeah,
addicts or
you
whatever
gotta
out the street.
interview these people. You
Yeah.
gotta have the people that's willing to go into these places and get these people and get them cleaned up and get them
Hmm.
started. Some people just need a hand up. They don't need a hand out.
Absolutely. You need to have some instead of just taking them and throwing their stuff away and putting them someplace else into a hotel for a couple of months. And then after that, you say, okay, you need to have something and stuff in place and stuff for them to go to now. If they don't follow through with their jobs, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, it's almost like back when they had welfare. You have to have certain criteria and stuff and everything to maintain their welfare. So if you stop working, you're gonna lose your home. You
Hey,
don't go
look
to
at
work,
here.
you lose
Look
your
at
home.
this. There's a company that China has. They have the highest employment in the world. This company that China has. It's called State Grid Corporation. Their revenue is $363 billion. They employ over 1.3 million people. 1.3 million people. That's just one company. They service over 1 billion people.
And what do they do?
It's a grid. They make sure that their electricity, their Wi-Fi's, all of that is working. That's what they
And
do.
and that's their job, to go out into the outlying areas
Something break
along with the
down, we
urban
have those
areas,
people.
and their job is to make sure that the electricity is on, or they have their Wi-Fi internet system, or their
Right.
water and stuff, is everything is being taken care of. And they do this for who?
They do this for 1.1 billion people.
So
How many people is in
who was
China?
so who was paying these people and stuff just to go out and make sure that this is going on?
The state.
The state.
Yeah, the country. What they
Oh,
do,
okay.
this is what
So
happens, is that these people that is servicing this 1.1 billion people, they have 1.3 million people working, and those people, obviously, I don't know what their bill is every month, for their utilities and all that, but they paying into that system the money that they work wherever they work at, so that they can have their Wi-Fi and their this and that, their electricity.
and the state pays them.
Yeah, I don't know how much they make, but I'm sure it's probably not a whole lot of money. In China, they happy to make $15,000 a year or $10,000 a year. You know, and they might, a lot of people, they got major high rises where people live in all over the country,
Hmm.
and they probably subsidize those housings, because
So
you're talking
maybe,
about
so maybe,
1.4
so
billion
maybe,
people.
so maybe what they're doing and everything is they're using these people to take care of what's going on, and for the work that they do, they give them so much money, but they also maybe provide them with housing,
Absolutely,
their own housing, free housing,
yeah.
yeah, free transportation and all that. So
And they
that
probably
could,
train them, and they have to do those jobs when it's cold outside. The deal with
right,
these
yeah,
utility
right.
people do. So
Uh,
but you're talking about servicing 1.1 billion people, bro. So there's your utilities right there. And now the food. Now I didn't even look up the food, how they take care of feeding these people.
hmm.
But I can look that up and find out how they're doing that and who's taking care of that. But the point is that those 1.3 million people is working every day to make sure everything is running like clockwork.
For the people that are out there doing the other jobs.
Right. Now and then you can go into not only food, but how they doing all their transportation, moving these people and all these different jobs that they have. Because they got millions of people that work.
Hmm.
Over 600, 700 million people working every day. And they all have to have transportation. Everybody ain't driving cars; they driving those mass transportations.
Or riding a bike.
Yeah, for those that got a few miles to go to work. But I'm just saying, most of them do these mass transportation things, and they travel back and forth to work.
So you were saying that a dictatorial society is also making the economy work along with capitalism.
Yes, this is what they do. I'm telling you, what they're doing. What they're doing is the same thing that we do. But the only thing is that they are in charge of all of it. And those people that don't do their job, that's when the government comes in. Because I don't think you even see, I don't even think they got any homeless people. The people that want to live in the mountains and all that, that's probably about maybe 400,000 or 500,000 people, from old school. But most of these people live in major cities. They got cities of 25 million people and 40
Absolutely.
million people, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm. A huge population.
Yeah,
And when you have that many people concentrated into a small area, you have a huge health problem going on. You got to make sure that the garbage is taken care of. You got to make sure the streets is clean. Oh man, yeah.
that's
They
another
might, they
problem with
might,
utility. How many people working in that system?
yeah.
And see, we
Well,
have what we do is we do well. I don't want to get into that, but anyway,
yeah. Okay. Now getting back to this thing that you first started talking about how the vice president now is coming up with these grandiose ideas and stuff and everything. And we've heard all these grandiose ideas and stuff before coming from politicians. And once these politicians get into office,
not like
and
this, not like this, bro, not like this.
why is that? Why did you say that? Not like this.
I'm gonna say this.
Go
President
ahead.
Obama brought, you remember the program that he had as first. Uh, I guess I can't remember the exact name, but it was something like Upstarts. He had initiated an Upstart program where he initiated that where people that wanted to start businesses can do that, and then you had investors that come in and invest in these companies, and these upstarts they would assist these upstart companies to come up with different ideas, and then they'll go to Silicon Valley, and then they'll come up with different ideas, and people start businesses. So President Obama, that's how his unemployment went down, how he got unemployment down. Same thing what she's getting ready to do, but the only thing is with her, she's going to do it on a lower scale of people. From working class to middle class up. These people that President Obama was dealing with was highly educated people. They were trained in IT, they were trained in computers and all of these types of things, but and banking. But she's going to be dealing with the average working person. And these new immigrants gonna come in and they're gonna take advantage of that.
Now, now again, I repeat, how are we gonna? Yes, Obama did it, but she's now in this position and stuff and everything to get into office. How are we going to ensure that she follows through with her plans? Just because Obama did it, don't mean that she has to get it done or she can
Well,
do it.
it's all about having the right people. You have to have the right people that know what they're doing as far as having the right people distributing those funds, because the Small Business Administration, what they get almost $300 billion to loan out. Get so and then you have other uh, agencies that are available, like the agricultural things that's available. All of these things, funds are available to the American people, but it hasn't been utilized, but only to certain parts of people. And a lot of times they don't even use all that money. So those people that's up and coming, the new Americans, these people, and then also those people that never had the opportunity. That's what she call it the opportunity. There's going to be a lot of opportunity available for people to really integrate this thing to get it going. for those that's serious about a business.
Now I'm going to get back again to what you said, and I said that there was someone who had brought up the fact that how are we going to ensure that this happens with our people? Now I can see those people who are Caucasians or who are aggressively out there accessing
Oh,
all
they'll
of
be on
this
it.
monies and stuff and everything. They're going to be on it. They're going to be on top of that. But we have a problem and stuff with our community that we get stuff done. We got we got Obama elected, and we stop putting pressure upon him. Is the same thing going to happen with Kamala? Is once she gets into office and everything, and she sits up in there in that White House and that ivory tower and
Oh, I
stuff
know how
there.
she gonna do it, and she know how she gonna do it. I can tell you how she gonna do it, bro.
But we have to. But if you've got these other folks out there saying, okay, yes, we are going to implement this stuff and we believe in this and we help you become elected, and they out there aggressively doing it, and our people are just sitting out there waiting for her in to let us have a piece of that pie, most
Well,
of
you
the
can't
time
just have
you
a
get
piece of
left
the pie if
behind.
you ain't got no plan, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Where is our plan? Where is our
Okay, I'm gonna
folks
tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly.
who are going to continue to support her and stuff after the election's over with, and who are
I'm
going to
gonna tell you.
continue?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, bro.
Go
It's
ahead.
real simple. It's not that complicated.
Go ahead.
Okay, you have the Chamber of Commerce. You have the Better Business Bureau. You have NAACP. You have all of these organizations that's out there. Now, besides that, they're going to get the word out. Number two, she's going to have a special department of sharp people to help people to get their startups going.
Mm-hmm.
If it's deemed worthy to have a startup,
Mm-hmm.
their idea might be rejected. But if you say, hey, I want to have a restaurant, I got $50,000 saved up, I always want, that's my dream. Okay, in my
If
neighborhood.
we don't have a plethora of folks out there who are going to aggressively get involved in this whole thing, we're going to be the same way we have been
I
before.
agree. I
Now,
agree. But
now,
that's what we're gonna
now,
do.
what she is saying is it's probably, and she might try to say, okay, I'm going to be enacting this, but the people who didn't vote for her, they're going to be out there sipping at their trough. The people and stuff that who went out there and actively helped her to become elected and everything, they're going to be sitting there. And a prime example of that is what went on with this 1.6 trillion that they did for the Infrastructure Act. Now, and you know, Ted, that there's a whole lot of Republican congressmen and stuff who are sitting out there and they siphoning that money off. They putting that money into their communities, but them knuckleheads stabbing your backside of guns and stuff and everything did not vote for the daggone Infrastructure Act. And they turn around there and dog the Democrats out because they put the thing into action. But when the money started showing up, they sitting at their trough, buddy, and they sucking that food up. They're getting that money, putting it in their pockets, and taking care of their people, and sitting there and telling their people, "Look what I done for you."
Well, that's politics.
Okay,
We ain't talking
but I'm
about
just
politics.
saying. But I'm just saying, her being in public office and her trying to put this money back out there into the middle class, who in the middle class is going to reap the harvest and stuff from what she's talking about? She's got a good idea, correct?
Well, it's
But
just not an idea, Ed.
is
Do
that
you think
coming?
this is just an idea?
You know what I
Man,
mean, man. You
look.
try to jump on me.
In order to
You try to
implement
shake me up there.
anything, you have to
You
have.
try to shake me up, man. I'm trying to say, yes, it's an idea that she's going to try to implement when she gets into office. It's an idea now. But once
But it's
she
not
gets
just
in
an idea.
office and starts to implementing the idea, it's going to change. And we know it's going to change. And it always happens that way because we sit there and complain. Well, you said you were going to do this, but you didn't do it. But
Well,
where were you at when it came to the fact that you needed to be sitting down there at that daggone table or having someone else sitting at that table speaking on your behalf? It always happens that way. All I'm saying to you is that we got to
what you're talking about is
if we
politics.
want to sit down there and get
What you're
involved
talking
in
about
it,
is politics, Ed.
it's all of it's politics. I mean, anything you do out there is politics. It's
No,
politics.
but what I'm saying is this: if you got a solid plan to build those 3 million homes in 4 years, if you got a solid plan to start up, she said something like, I think she said something like 30, I don't know how many millions of businesses that she wants to start up, but it was in the millions.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this is what we're talking about. So that means when you building new communities, homes and what have you, you got to have businesses. That's the thing. So now
Next next
we're only
year,
14. Black folks is only 14% of the population.
absolutely, and we should be getting our fair share, and we are not getting that when it comes down to
Well,
enacting of these
that's
policies that
another
are going
story.
on.
I don't know what to say about that because
I
number
have to
one,
say, what I'm saying to you is that once January the 5th or the 6th, whatever day the election day and stuff is over with, and we find out who won, if the Harris Waltz campaign won and they get to January 20th and move into that White House, where are those people who went out, gave their money to the campaign, who were people of color? Are they going to be sitting there at that table when they start dividing up that pie? Are we going to be there when that pie
well, that's
is
up to
being
her.
divided up
She the one
for
has to
our
implement it.
looking for our 14%? That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but what
Okay.
I'm saying is that if you think that she doesn't have a breakdown and who's going to be in charge of all of these different types of things that has to go on, we talking to housing and we talking to business. This right here is going to create at least 10 million more jobs.
And I'm sitting there saying to you, it's the same thing that we've been talking about, that we get to the point and we get those people into their office and everything, and if we don't put their feet to the fire, we are not going to, we're going to be the same thing we was even when Obama came into office and stuff. He had all this stuff going on and that startup stuff and thing. Just like you said, most of the people who benefited from that stuff was not people of color. They benefited from it. He gave those folks a hand up in the middle class to do what they need to do. But you can look down that road down there and say, we didn't even make up what, 2%, 3% of that people that went out there and did it. It's fine that he did that. But if you don't stay in the game
But
after the
that's
election's
what
over
we
with,
see. See, the thing is, a lot of people want to have their hand out saying, "Where's my money?"
they are. And the folks who didn't vote for, just like I just said, they're gonna people who
No,
didn't even vote for her,
but,
they're gonna have
but,
their hand out.
but what I'm saying is, what are you bringing to the table?
That's what I'm saying. We need to bring something to the table. And who we gonna bring to that table to fight for us,
No, no, no,
to
no, no,
fight
no,
for
no,
those
no, no,
folks?
no, no. It ain't about bringing somebody. No, I'm talking about each individual as an individual, as a business, as a startup. That's what you bring into the table. You want a business, then you got to have your business plan. You got to have your setup as far as what you want to do. If you want to open up a restaurant, if you want to have a filling station, if you want to have a convenience store, a
And
grocery
that's
store.
what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. All I'm
No,
saying to you is that are we gonna have somebody at that table to say and who whatever, and we understand that you got to be qualified, we understand that you got to have a strong business, we understand all of that, but who are you going to have at that table and stuff, because some of those people and stuff and everything have not ran a business probably before. They have a business plan, but they're going to need some help to get their business plan and stuff through. That means that
she
you're going to
mentioned that.
have
She mentioned that. She
no
mentioned
matter
that.
what you have out
Ed,
there, there's
Ed,
somebody.
go listen to the speech, bro. She mentioned that. She said she's going to have different satellite offices all over the country to assist people to start
and
their businesses.
and what she is saying, 80% or 50% of that is not going to happen.
Well, that's on them. That's on the people.
It's not going to happen.
You can't. You know what? I can have the water for you, but I can't make you drink.
I can understand that, but I'm
Okay?
just saying to you, that's pie in the sky stuff. We just be
That ain't no pie
realistic.
in the sky. The
Yes, it
money's
is.
available. You
It's
got to
not
do the
going to
work.
happen. I guarantee you. Two
Well,
years
if
from
they
now,
don't want to
two
do the
years from
work,
now, I'm gonna
shame
come back
on
to you
them.
and say, "You Ted, where them satellite offices at? They ain't there. It's
What?
not going to happen." And the reason and stuff why it's not going to happen like that, Ted, because her plan and stuff, she got 100% plan. You are never going to get 100% of whatever you do out. You
Ain't nobody
lucky if
saying
you
you're
get
gonna do
50%.
100%, Ed. You ain't
But I'm
got to
just
do
saying,
100%.
you're not going to have satellite offices all over this country. Just like they dump all that money into putting broadband out there into your rural areas. That money is still
I'm
sitting
gonna ask
there.
you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you know that they have small business satellite offices right now?
I haven't seen them. They're not in my
You
area.
ever heard of Score? You
Yeah, I
ever heard of
did, but
Score?
they still not in my.
I'm
They
asking
still
you a
not.
question. Have you ever heard of Score?
Yeah, I
Look it
did.
up, bro. Look it up. There are people right now. Right now, these are just little small offices. They got one in Tampa. They got one in Brandon. They got one in St. Pete. They got one in all over.
And
If
they
you
don't
want to
have.
start a
It's not all
business,
over. It ain't here in Georgia.
yes,
It
it
ain't here in
is.
Georgia. It
I can
ain't
look it
here in
up right now
Georgia.
for you. I'm gonna look it up for you right
We
now.
don't see it here in Georgia. We don't see it. You might see it in Tampa. We don't see it here in Georgia. Unless they thought we must see it in Georgia. And I'm getting back to what I was saying. They we and part of that investment act that was
Score
passed
offices
was
in
billions of dollars.
Atlanta.
you doing a Google on me? You trying to Google
Oh
me
yeah,
out? I trying
I'm
to
looking
Google
right
me.
now. Here it is, right here. One
You
on
gonna Google
you
me
have
out?
a business management score on 233 Peachtree.
And and,
You have
and how
another
many?
one on 240 Interstate.
Well,
You have another one. You have another one in North Metro Atlanta, and I can go on and on, bro. These are small business people who is
and
willing
they
to
ain't
help people
and
start up businesses.
they haven't given out any money to anybody that I know of
This ain't
who are
about
in
money.
small business.
This ain't about money right now. I mean, I'm telling you that those things are available. She said that she's going to make available money available. And then on top of that,
Ain't
once you start
gonna
your business,
happen in
once you
our
start your
community.
business,
It's
Ed,
not
Ed, you gotta
gonna
listen to the speech,
happen
bro.
in our community, and so we can be able to sit down there,
Ain't nobody gonna
dip
give you no two hundred
and dip
thousand dollars
our and
to
dip
throw
our
up a
and
to throw up a false business so that you can go buy a Cadillac.
and dip our
Ain't
spoon
nobody
in
gonna give
that.
you no $200,000 so you can buy a Cadillac. They just arrested a pastor.
I don't want no Cadillac. I don't
They
want
just
no Cadillac. I don't want
they
no
just
Cadillac.
arrested
I
a,
want a
a, a,
Maybach.
a
Don't give me no
pastor.
Cadillac. I want a Maybach.
See, this is the problem. See, you gotta be. These black folks gotta get themselves together, bro. If you serious about business, you gotta be serious about business. You can't be just somebody gonna give you $200,000 and then you're gonna blow it and buy a new Cadillac and a new wardrobe.
I told you I don't want no Cadillac. I want a Maybach, and it ain't 200 and 300,000.
This is serious business, bro.
Oh man. I get in text messages all the time. Before we get out of here, Tig, we get the final word here in just a little bit. Before we get out of here, something is going on here in our and you and our age group, people and stuff who were senior citizens and stuff out here. There is a concerted effort out here in this country and stuff right now to scam senior citizens.
What they're scamming now?
Oh man, they doing all kind of stuff. I had a phone call today, and when I answered the call, the guy says, "I'm from Medicare, and we're sending out Medicare cards. Now it's September. The Medicare cards don't come out until December. But he done called me up and says, we want to get you. You are Mr. Bishop. I said, yes, I am. And you stay in a house or condominium. As soon as he said that, I knew it was a scam. And your birthday is August something 1941. I hung the phone up. Oop. Now, most folks and stuff, our age and everything, Ted, are somewhat, they're getting into that feebleness stage, almost like our boy Joe. They getting there where they can't hardly do things that they need to get done. And these people are out there doing everything they can to scam these senior citizens out of money, to get their hands into these folks' pocketbooks, into their life savings that they
The
have.
boomers.
Huh?
The boomers, man. You talking trillions of dollars, bro.
Hey man, but people need to understand that they out there and they
They
need to
want
watch
it.
out
They
for them.
want that money.
But they need to know that they out there, because I don't want to see uh my friend or one of my children's grandparents and stuff out there been got scammed out of all their money, and they sitting out there on the street corner because they didn't gave up all their money, or they just decided that they want to kill themselves because they don't have any more money now to pay for their medicine or whatever. It's we need to be they need to be aware, and the folks who are out there listening to us, be aware that there's scammers out there, and they're getting more and more sophisticated every day.
Every day. Every
Every
day.
day they got new stuff going on. Sophisticated. Before, they were calling people up and saying your grandchild uh is in jail, and they need for you to send them some bail money to get out of jail and everything. Give us your account number, or give us your credit card number so we can help them to get out of jail. Or this is the federal government, and we try to do it's a man.
Well, my philosophy is this: I don't answer the phone if you're not on my list.
But some people don't do that. They're nice folks. These people and stuff, they're church going folks, and they believe in what's going on out there, and they're gullible. I mean, tell you, they're gullible, and we have to watch out for them. But anyway, that was a notice of interest to all you people out there watching who are seniors and stuff, or who are getting into that 60s or whatever and everything, to know that there are people out there ready to scam you out of every dime you got, and they do not care. Okay, final word.
Well, I'm loving this plan that she's got, and I believe it's going to work. And she will be getting a letter from me once I start finding out how this thing really goes. And she gives the breakdown after the debate, and she puts stuff on her website. It will work. 3 million. I'm telling you, man, I'm excited. 3 million homes, money for startups, straight out. She coming right out to it from the low from the working class up to the middle class for those people that want to have their own businesses. So I'm for it, and I believe that this right here is a great idea. Great idea. So, and I think this is going to help the homeless. It's going to cut down on the homeless. And they got all kind of services now for these mental people that's in mental. That's been a big push by a lot of these movie stars and what have you, as far as these people that got all these mental issues. So I believe that it's going to work, man. I think. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to ever have a utopia. There's always going to be problems. Always going to be something. But I think that she's got. I mean, do you know she's got a degree in economics, bro? So she know what she's doing, what she's talking about, and she knows how to deal with these Wall Street people because she's dealt with them before. So she's got a plan, and I know she's going to have some smart people around her to get this thing done. But the only thing is, we got to get rid of the orange man. We got to get him out of the picture, totally. And these American people got to realize, hey, this America is not just for you; it's for everybody that comes here. That's what I got to say.
Okay, my 2 cents in this whole thing. I'm okay with the ideas, whatever ideas she come up with. I'm okay with them. That has something to do with improving the lives of the middle class, whether they people of color, whether they people, whether they white folks, whether they rich folks or whatever, improve folks' lives, because this country is not going to continue to be able to make it until they go back and start building that middle class. If you don't build that middle class, then you can't have rich and poor folks and be able to survive and stuff in this world. You can't. It's been proven that once that middle class, well, after World War II, and that middle class got built up, this country became absolutely economically successful. You have to have people there to buy your products. You have to have people who are going to spend money and stuff. You have to have people who are going to be taking off and going on vacation to Disney World and keeping that money down there in Florida, and keeping you son of a guns down there in Florida with a little money in your pockets and everything. You got to have people to buy them cars and stuff and everything, them Fords and them Chevys and them Chryslers and stuff. You got to have them. They the ones. You can't have everybody buying them Maybachs. You can't have everybody buying them yachts and be able to survive here in this country. So whatever she have, keep it going. And if you and be aware that you're going to have to let some of these folks into this daggone country so they can work, and let them stay above the ground so we can get some tax money so they can keep on funding FICA so I can have my Medicare and my Social Security check. The
Get
Social
these people
Security,
signed up. That's
yes,
what you're
the Social
saying.
Security fund, they say going broke. Well, I don't want the damn thing to go broke. If you let people come out there and work and pay FICA, it won't go broke. So,
Get these people signed up.
yes, sir. Get it right up in there. Get that money coming in that door. Say, hey, get rid of that. So, but I know, Ted, that when she gets in office, she's going to be overwhelmed. As a president of this country, she is going to be overwhelmed. She is going to be the leader.
Well, that's every president, bro.
As the leader of the free world.
That's every
And
president.
I'm hoping, I know it ain't any president, but there has she's got one hell of a job ahead of her. And just like you said and stuff earlier and stuff, you got to have some smart people and stuff and everything who are in those middle management positions and stuff within the government and everything who has the power and stuff to put forth whatever ideas that she has said on her platform. And if you don't have those people in place to do that,
But
or it takes you
but
2
Eddie,
years to get them into place and stuff, then your whole administration and stuff has went down the drain.
well,
So
that's why she
she
got to
got
have the
one
House, and
hell
she
of
got
a
to have the
job.
House, and she got to have the Senate.
She has one hell of a job ahead of her, and I do not dread her being into that job. I know she sitting there and she wants it, but when she gets in there, don't be like Obama and go in there with black hair and come out there with white. Your head white as snow. Because you sit down there worried about bullshit. You worried about the children and stuff who get killed in school. You're worried about some summer gun over there across the water and everything and stuff, having a war going on that you're going to have to get involved in. You're going to have to worry about Russia sitting over there creating all kind of havoc, talking about nuclear war. You got to worry about North Korea sitting around there worried about all this other mess going on. You got people going over there and going through that Suez Canal and stuff and bringing our goods and services through there, and you got to send the military over there to protect them. Or you got them Somalis and stuff riding out there into the ocean and stuff in these canoes and stuff and trying to attack these battleships and get cargo ships. Oh, man.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents for the day. And I hope you all understand that we, even though we might disagree a little bit more, but we have a common ground and stuff that we're going to gather and stuff and get to because we all want the same thing to happen. Let's get that girl in office and get her elected and pray to God that she's going to be okay. now, now I know you can imagine. Now, somebody Ted might who wasn't around then might say, "What? They got a canoe out there on the ocean and stuff, and they're going out to these ships, attacking them and everything." Yes, that happened. But anyway, I'm done. Bye bye, people. Bye.